So this is where you plan to do it?
As good a place as any.
At least have the balls to call this what it is. Murder.
Shane hesitates when Rick asks if this is where he plans to do it. He blinks twice and moves his mouth before beginning to speak, and this is hesitation driven on by sudden cognitive load. The double blink reflects a brief stress response, as his brain recalibrates. He's hesitating here, realizing that Rick knew all along what he was doing, and it catches him off guard.
You really believe if you walk back onto that farm alone, no me, no Brandon,
hush up.
you really believe they're gonna buy whatever bullshit story you cook up? It's just, it ain't no story. I saw that prisoner shoot you down. I ran after him. I snapped his neck. It ain't gonna be easy. But Laura and Carl, they'll get over you. They done it before. They just gonna have to. Why? Why now?
So Rick paces around here due to psychomotor agitation, venting excess sympathetic energy through movement, as his amygdala detects the threat. Meanwhile, Shane shows visible signs of arousal, with an elevated respiration rate. Despite having Rick at gunpoint and facing no physical threat, his amygdala remains cautious. And this is because the arousal is emotional. He doesn't want to kill Rick here, but feels he has to. And the conflict shows in his physiology. He's emotional here and he's unsure.
I thought we worked this all out.
Trying to kill each other, man. What you think? We just gonna forget about it all? We're gonna ride off into the sunset together?
You gonna kill me in cold blood? Screw my wife, have my children call you daddy? Is that what you want? That life won't be worth a damn. I know you. You won't be able to live with this. What you know about what I can live with? You got no idea what I can live with, what I live with.
You wanna talk about what I can do, Rick? How about what you can do? Here I am. Come on, man, raise your gun.
Shane is extremely unsure what to do here, and he receives a massive spike in his stress levels when Rick reaffirms that they are his children. He knows that Laurie is pregnant and that he is the father, and hearing this angers him and causes a strong mouth tense as his arousal surges. He then regrips his handgun and changes his proxemics, moving in closer, and the regripping of his handgun generates what's called proprioceptive feedback in his brain, helping him focus under extreme arousal.
No, I will not.
What happened, Rick? I thought you weren't the good guy anymore. Ain't that what you said? Even right here, right now, you ain't gonna fight for him.
I'm a better father than you, Rick.
I'm better for Laurie than you, man.
It's because I'm a better man than you, Rick, because I can be here and I'll fight for it.
But you come back here and you just destroy everything.
You got a broken woman. You got a weak boy.
You ain't got the first clue on how to fix it.
Raise your gun. You're gonna have to kill an unarmed man.
So Rick has already decided to kill Shane here, and expresses what's called hyperfixation, locking his eyes onto him as his amygdala prioritizes the threat and narrows his attention field. He recognizes that Shane is highly emotional and conflicted here, and unable to shoot him outright, so he calculates that his best bet is to manipulate him, and strike Shane when his guard's down. And this is why he goes quiet here. He's already made up his mind.
Watch my hand. Nice and easy. Easy does it. Now listen to me, Shane. There is still a way back from this. Nothing has happened here. We're gonna lay down our guns. We're gonna walk back to the farm. Together.
So Shane again regrips his handgun to generate proprioceptive feedback, to try and focus his attention. He's being distracted by his emotions. He is extremely conflicted here, and is effectively trying to reassure himself that he needs to kill him. Meanwhile, Rick deliberately uses his non-dominant hand to disarm himself, as to appear non-confrontational to Shane. He also does this whilst making direct eye contact with Shane, again to signal that he's trying to de-escalate the situation.
Back to Lori. Back to Carl. Put this all behind us.
So we can see Shane going through a range of emotions here, as Rick hands over his revolver, whilst his respiration rate remains extremely elevated. The intense sympathetic arousal reduces activity in his prefrontal cortex, narrowing his thinking and decreasing his rational abilities, effectively distracting him from what Rick is doing. And that vulnerability is exactly what Rick exploits. And when Shane briefly diverts his gaze down toward the revolver, his attentional focus shifts, and that is the moment that Rick decides to strike.
Damn you for making me do this shit! This was you, not me! You did this to us! This was you, not me! Not me! Not me!
So Rick now releases all the built-up arousal that he was suppressing. He screams and rapidly moves his head as the sympathetic surge floods his system, and he also expresses what's called sympathetic tremors, with his hands visibly shaking due to the extreme spike in adrenaline. And I don't know if anyone heard it, but it sounds like Shane actually whispers, "You got it done," as he's on the floor. And I think he's talking to himself here. And John Bernthal actually wanted to have this whole situation be a setup to drive Rick to kill him on purpose. What do you think? It's really sad, but Rick actually tries to co-regulate with Shane here, holding his head and touching his hand briefly as he tries to comfort him. He doesn't know what to do and is so overridden with emotion, and he can't keep still. He then vents this stress by rapidly shaking his head and screaming. He knew that he had to kill Shane, and saw just how emotionally torn he was, and this is what he used to his advantage, allowing him to come out on top. It's a really detailed and well acted scene.